But the IBF sort of announcement that, hey, we could strip Canelo because they've ordered the purse bid now for Canelo Alvarez and Sergey Derevyanchenko. Everyone inside the industry is under the assumption that Canelo doesn't want to fight Sergey Derevyanchenko and doesn't really give a shit about the IBF belt. And it seems like we're going to get at least a Triple G Derevyanchenko fight in the fall, around October, for the vacant strap. And Canelo Alvarez is still heavily going after Sergey Kovalev. We'll get to that part in a bit. But to sort of isolate the IBF aspect to this story, Rob, were you as surprised by this news as I was? Because I saw this and I was like, huh, this is boxing. So I wasn't totally surprised. I mean, we've lived in the era of Tyson Fury being stripped, obviously, of the IBF belt when he was going into the Vladimir Klitschko rematch. So this isn't anything new, honestly. And they've done it to big names and big fights before. I just think that at some point, people, we need to stop championing the IBF as some sort of sanctioning body that actually adheres to their rules. Because when they do adhere to their rules, a la Carlos Ocampo, a la this situation, a la Tyson Fury of Vladimir Klitschko, it is obviously materially detrimental to boxing. Rob, your thoughts on the IBF stripping Canelo, most likely the Derevyanchenko purse bid, Golovkin fighting Derevyanchenko now in October, all of the sort of moving news of the day.
Well, I believe I listened to, I can't remember the other podcast, but I believe the IBF did contact Golden Boy regarding that this was coming, or this was likely to be, they were going to be calling the mandatory. But whether there was a response or whatever, I don't know. And whether they should have put in for an exemption already, maybe it's too late. But I mean, I don't know whether, like you said, we'll talk about it, but Kovalev definitely seems to be the target. But maybe, I mean, if he wants to keep the title, maybe they could try and make the Andrade fight as it's a unification, and then that would trump a mandatory. I don't know, but I think at this moment in time, Canelo is sort of the bouts don't really matter. In some regard, I don't mind the IBF because this is Canelo and they're going to strip him. Oh my God. Any other sanctioning body would be like, no, we're not doing that. We want that Canelo money, but they're kind of this is our rules. This is what's happening. So in one regard, you kind of respect it. But when I first saw the news, I was like, oh, so we're going to see fucking Derevyanchenko. The guy he had a eliminator.
When was the Jacobs fight? Was that last year, obviously?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it summertime last year, I want to say, right? It was June-ish, July.
Interestingly, DAZN Akabarak done a day, followed Eddie Hearn for a day, and they asked him, what's the most you have lost on a show? And Jacobs Derevyanchenko was the biggest losing money show that Eddie Hearn's put on. But yeah, Derevyanchenko obviously got himself into the position to fight Jacobs, or they fought for the vacant title, lost. Was it his next fight back was an eliminator? So he's straight back in the picture. Yeah, and now he's having another crack at it, within the space of a year. It's very strange, but yeah, I don't know. I really don't.
He's had one fight in between the Daniel Jacobs fight and now. That's it. He's only had one fight.
And that was an IBF eliminator.
It doesn't mark that here, but I think so. It was the Jack Kelkay fight.
Yeah.
I think it was an IBF eliminator. I'm trying to remember. It doesn't state on BoxRec, but I think you're right.
In Twitter, people are like, what? He's just lost in a... It should have been, further down the rankings. You take a loss. There's a bit of a road back, not literally one fight later, you're back in there. But
Leonard with the super chat saying, test to see if it robs me. Won't be doing it again. Okay, Leonard. Anyways, Sergey Derevyanchenko, I think I don't care about him in the title picture. He's almost in that, unfortunately, that Jamal Charlo stage for me. It's like, I understand you're talented, but like, why are we talking about you fighting Canelo? Canelo can fight Triple G, who's a longtime champion, has far more accolades in the division than the two people we're talking about. Or Andrade, who actually has a belt. You know, like, and why are we talking about, and actually has a decent win against Litsky, honestly. Even though I think the performance was pretty dull and boring, it was obviously a clinic. So I just think that Sergey Derevyanchenko in this fight being a mandatory, being in this position is another sign of sanctioning bodies having bullshit rankings, right? Like we constantly hear people in the mandatory status that really shouldn't be a mandatory and shouldn't be involved in upsetting big fights. You know, talking about how far away we are from an undisputed champion in the middleweight division, here's another fucking step we are to separate that out versus the franchise tag and that separation with the WBC. Now it's this. It just gets frustrating at some point. You know, like, again, another sign that the sanctioning bodies cannot be trusted in any way because innately they are not helping the sport. Even when they pretend to adhere to the rules and be strict to it, we still get Carlos Ocampo being a mandatory. We still get Sergey Derevyanchenko being a mandatory after only one fight against Jack Kelkay, who was a fucking career junior middleweight. You know, I just don't care to see this at all. I will say this, Triple G Derevyanchenko, that's a fine matchup. I'm okay with that. It just shouldn't have a title attached to it at all.
Interestingly, that fight could have already happened, but Triple G didn't want that fight, so he dropped the belt and fought Varnes, right?
Sorry, what was that?
I said Triple G Derevyanchenko could have happened already, but he dropped the belt to go and fight Varnes.
Yeah, I know.
It's come round, and I mean, in a way, Canelo said, "Go and do something. Go and get a title." Mm-hmm. So, you know, as much as DAZN maybe wanted that trilogy, maybe it's going to happen just maybe May next year over the. But, you know, hopefully Canelo says, "You can't strip me because I vacate." It's that whole "you can't fire me because I quit" kind of thing. But if we strip you before you vacate, it's like you can't quit because we've already fired you. We said it first. So, but yeah, this whole saga. I mean, look, had it been what was it on Saturday? Was 10 weeks until Canelo's supposed to fight last Saturday. So they need to make an announcement soon and actually promote and, you know, give a chance to sell tickets. And
I'm telling you, man, my theory that Canelo is just going to take a cosmetic knee injury or surgery and take the month off. I'm telling you, we're running out of time here. But then again, we're also in the era of, like, remember Mayweather used to do this all the time. He would wait till like 5 weeks out from a fight and then announce it, right? McGregor fight was like that. I think the Andre Berto fight was like that. I think there's another one in recent memory that was like that. Was it Robert Guerrero? Oh, no, it wasn't that one. Which one was it? Maybe it was Maidana. But anyways, like, we are in this era, like, the big names can do that because they're the big names.
Maybe DAZN need a little bit more of a run at it.
No, I absolutely agree with you. No. Yeah. I think that they should obviously announce it, 12 weeks out, 13 weeks out to promote it properly. I've always been of that mindset. But fighters, the big fighters do this. Like, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's just the reality. So we're still within the window that Canelo could announce a fight for this September date. We are getting closer, though, to where there's a cutoff point where you no longer can really make a big Canelo fight within 3 weeks, 4 weeks time. We're not there yet, but we're about a month out from really that point. Still on Canelo, though, talking about his next fight still. Obviously, it's not going to be Derevyanchenko because none of the reporting is of Canelo's like, oh, right, now to fight Derevyanchenko in September. It's all, fake. Get stripped.
I think even DAZN would say, just drop the belt. We're not putting that shit on. I don't know. That's maybe giving Derevyanchenko a bit of a disservice. But
no. It's apt. No, he has one fight since Daniel Jacobs dominated him. We forget that. Daniel Jacobs put on a performance against Derevyanchenko to the point like, ooh, how good is Daniel Jacobs? And then Canelo dominated Daniel Jacobs. So, no, Derevyanchenko's not there yet, in my opinion.